What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Mystic Watch, and today we're going to be breaking down CP, gear, and everything you need to know about preparing for, raids, not like just getting yourself going. Like, how do you gear yourself? How do you get more CP, things of that nature, If you take a look at my team, I'm at 92k CP. I want to try to break 100k within a day or two. So we're moving relatively fast, right? I was just at 80k like 2 days ago, and I'm just trying to keep getting my CP higher, right? Trying to progress further. So this video will break it all down for you, and hopefully, I've been getting these questions all the time. How do you get your CP so high? How do you get your CP so high? So this is how you're gonna do it. On a side note, shout out to everyone who came through on my Twitch stream. Really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun streaming this game. I'm gonna stream again today. If you guys want to come, watch, hang out, chill, play raids, do something, follow my Twitch channel. The link will be down below. We're trying to get partnered on Twitch, so I want to start streaming on Twitch exclusively. When I stream on YouTube, it's a lot easier for people to see, but I want to stream on Twitch as a platform. So highly recommend you guys checking that out. And most likely we'll probably be streaming 8 or 9 p.m. today, and same thing tomorrow. So I'll try to make it an effort to stream as much as I can, three or 4 days a week. And that's really it. So let's keep moving on with the CP instruction video information guide thing. Let's take a look at our bond. You can see here that my bond has 23k CP. And these are his stats, right? And full stats for anyone who cares. But how did I hit this number? How did you get to 23k? Couple of things. One, level. Just being like, this is assuming that the people watching this video are already at level 60 you are, but going above level 60, and if you guys aren't sure how, you click this button down here. This is the awakening button, right, to go from SR to UR. Once you're level 60, you can go from 60 to 65 if you've been doing raids. If you've been doing raids, you should be getting these horns. And this is a new item to get to 70 with the new Grey Demon. And you'll only get the Grey Demon once you beat Chapter 6. But the horns is what you need. You need 20 horns, you need 1 6-star book, and you need 3 SSR pendants, medallions, whatever, to get to 65. That is not as difficult as it seems. I've spent a lot of SSR medals on my units, that I don't use, right? So there are a good amount of SSR medals in this game. You get them from just playing story, things of that nature. And if you guys aren't sure how to get more SSR medals, I have a video on leveling and awakening, so that actually explains where to get all the SSR medals from. But that's one thing. Leveling to 65 will help your CP. Leveling to 70 will help your CP, because you get more raw stats. Simple as that, right? Now, you can see here, this is huge. Stars. Stars give you raw stats, and they give you a lot of it. As you can see, my bond is at 4-star, on his way to 5-star once I get 5 of these, but this is going to take a little bit to get. And then here's the final one. This is going to be a lot harder. But 5 is achievable, right? I have all the materials from just playing the game, and then this is something that I just got to farm over time. Now, getting up to this point, getting 4 is difficult. It's not too hard, but the first 3 I feel like are mandatory on your units, right? And by the time you're on like Chapter 6 or something like that, getting the first 3 should be reasonably within your means. If you're wondering where do you get the different types of Chalice Cup things, most of them you get from raid or by doing... Let's take a look. You go here, you click boss, and we'll just take a look at this, right? Wrong button. Take a look at this. Let's say you can beat hard mode, right? You have an 8% chance to get one of these, and so on. These are the other ones. So anything below 4-star you can get reasonably well from just daily farming. Your daily quest gives you these as well. And then once you can do extreme, you have chances of getting the 5-star one. If not, you just farm 6 of the 4 stars and go to King to fuse them together or to upgrade them. But yeah, let's go back into this. Sure. That's Awakening. Awakening, super important. Make sure you get that done as much as you can. The even awakenings give you attack. So number 2, number 4, and number 6 give you attack stats. 1, 3, and 5 give you HP stats. So that's also, might be important to keep in mind. Like, you want to push for number 4 on your DPS people. You want to push for number 3 or 5 on those, those tanky or support units. But there's Awakening. Awakenings give you huge amount of CP, but they give you a lot more CP in conjunction with your gear. What I mean by that is your gear is how you get percent stats. If you guys have played any MMOs, RPGs, anything with gear, with substats, with stats, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Percent gear is humongous when it comes to, progressing through the game. So you get your raw stats from levels, you get your raw stats from your awakenings, and then you also get some raw stats from your gear. But your gear is the only place where you get percent stats. And I'm going to explain that for anyone who doesn't understand what's going on here. This is how you should be gearing as much as you can. Right side should be all common, left side should be SR or SSR if you can afford it. Now, this might be confusing for anyone who doesn't understand what's going on, but gear works in this way. Let's take a look at my arm brace, whatever you want to call it. You have a couple things on your gear. This is your main stat. So this is attack 675. So you saw that I have about like 6,700 attack. This alone is giving me almost 700 attack. But what are these down here? These lines are all substats. So each row of gear, so your arm brace and your ring, give you attack related stats. The middle row, so your necklace and earrings, will give you defense related stats, and then the bottom row, the belt and the orb, give you HP related stats. So for your DPS, the top left and the top right are the most important things. But everything matters. So here we go. Let's take a look at this one more time. You have about your main stat here, and then you have your sublines. For those of you guys who aren't at any stars whatsoever, every single line for you will be locked. And the way you get it unlocked is you get stars. How do you get stars? You take a piece of gear, you level up to level 5 by hitting this button right here. You get it to level 5. When you click the button again, so, you got it to level 5, hooray, right? So close out of the thing, hit it one more time, go back into it, and now it should look something like this. It'll ask you, hey, do you want to spend whatever the amount is, 40k for me, and one of these crystals to awaken it to 1 star. You'll do it, and you'll unlock the first line. And you'll keep doing it as you go on. So it'll go to 1 star, you have to get it all the way back to level 5. Then you can awaken it again. Each time, the requirements will be higher and higher, right? So gold is a super huge investment in here, and then you're also going to need crystals. Crystals, you just do your dailies, do your dailies, do all the side missions. 5-star or 5 heart every single village, and as you get gear, extra gear, keep going to Deanna and breaking your, useless gear, and you'll get crystals that way. Pretty simple. Now, why do I have common on one side and SR on the other side? The reason is on the left side, no, go back. On the left-hand side, right? On here, the main stats vary a lot more. So what I mean is there's a bigger difference in your main stat between an SR gear and a rare piece of gear. Let me see if I can... Do I have any commons that I can... Okay, okay. So take a look here. This is defense. And defense, like, this is a big difference. 167 difference in your stats like this is humongous. Especially for defense, right? Because defense already is a lower number. So the point I'm trying to show you is, over here, you want to try to use as high of a rarity as possible, because the main stat is really important on the left side of gear. Okay. On the right hand side of gear, the main stat isn't as different, right? So this is a difference between a common and an SSR. And you can see the difference is only 68. So you see that the difference isn't as high as it was on the other side of gear. But it's simply, here you can use C gear because the difference isn't so big, and what you're trying to abuse or get a lot out of is the sublines. The sublines give you percent gear, percent stats, and they don't change. Like, just because, if let's say I have an SSR orb, the sublines aren't going to be a higher percent. There's no difference between a C subline and an SSR subline. So the maximum HP you can get will be 3%, no matter if it's an SSR gear or if it's a C gear. But the difference is, it is a billion times easier to rank up C gear than it is SSR gear. Now the other thing is, there are people who are using C gear everywhere, and that works. You will get to like 100k CP, but you are going to be stuck after a certain point, because you cannot progress any further. That is why I recommend SR on the left or higher, and C on the right. It's going to take you a little bit longer, right? But you'll have a higher limit, and you won't be wasting as many resources, because your SR gear is going to be good for a long time, and then SSR gear will be good as well, but it's going to be a little bit trickier than that. So let's keep going. This video is going to take a minute, right? There's a lot that goes into this stuff, so I hope you guys are, willing to tune in. Now, if you're wondering, how did you get all the same stats? Like, how are these all attack? How are these, well, this is all defense besides one. How are these all HP, and why are they high? So each piece of gear, you can reroll the stats. And you can reroll them individually. If you hit this button up top, you can reroll each individual piece of stat. You can reroll the top, you can reroll every single line. And this is where you drain your gold. 5k for a reroll. Just keep that in mind. So you reroll all of them into HP for the bottom, you reroll all of these into defense, and you reroll all of these into attack. There's other things that you can get: crit chance, crit damage, patience, defense, whatever. So the attack gear will only get attack related lines, the defense gear will only get defense related lines, and the HP gear will only get HP related lines. But there's about 4 or 5 different options you can get. You want to roll all of them into HP, all of them into defense, all of them into attack. Now this will vary as we progress through the game. We're gonna start needing different things as variety starts coming out. As of right now, HP, defense, attack. Those are the 3 things. And you want to roll it high. There's a chance you can roll it and be all the way at the bottom of the spectrum and have like 0.7 HP. It's not good enough. Roll it again. And that's what's gonna drain a lot of your thing. It'll take you about like 1 million gold per unit to get them to this point. Something like this. And I can do better than this. Like this 2% attack, I can push it a little bit further. But I don't want to sit here and reroll and spend 200k gold just for one line. On the other hand, rerolling SR and SSR gear is not as easy. If you take a look, they don't cost gold, they cost gems. SR gear costs 1 gem to reroll, SSR gear costs 2 gems to reroll. That's why you might want to be cautious when you're using SSR gear. You might not get what you want, and you don't want to dip 150 gems into just gear. So be careful, right? That's why SR gear is a little bit more manageable because it only costs 1 gem, and you don't have to go for perfect, right? As long as you're getting the stats you want, you can work with it. And then over time, you know, every few days, re-roll a couple times. Maybe you can get something better. Let me show you SSR Gear just to give you an example. So my Slater has SSR arm bracelet. To reroll the main stat and these 2 gems. So it is tough. And I don't know, like I could have sworn it used to be 1 gem and it went up to 2 when I awakened it again. So I'm wondering that if with each awakening, if it's going to get higher, that I'm not sure. But yeah, it is a cost, right? Because actually maybe I can take a look here. Can't really tell. Unless I have someone else at 2 stars. Whatever, you get the point. So that is Gear in a nutshell. Why do not show me this dippy little R-boy? That is Gear in a nutshell. C on the right side. SR or SSR on the left. Get the right side to 5 stars. The left side you can take your time with. It's not as important. You're doing it for the main stat. Right side you're doing it for the percent gear. So you can see 12% more HP. You know, 12% more attack pretty much. So the more raw stats you get by leveling up in the game, getting more orbs, the percent will matter more. Which is why it'll get easier to get CP as you go on. Because the percent will carry you the more stats you have. In terms of sets, what sets should you focus on? This will be the last thing. Most people will have HP and defense set. HP is a 4-set combination. You can see right here. So HP is 4 sets, right? So 4 pieces. So 1, you can see on my Meliodas, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 on the right side with the orb. And then 2 pieces you have left over, and that'll be defense. There's a lot more combinations than that, but all the other sets of gear are not as helpful right now. So if you have, like, this is like crit resistance. You can break this down. You're not going to use it. Like this is what, like regeneration? I don't even know. Or this is not lifesteal. But this is something useless as well. This SSR gear you get from chapter 6. So I'm not breaking it down just because it's SSR gear, but SR gear, chuck it away if it's not what you want. So HP and defense on the 80% of the cast. And then you want attack, defense on anyone with attack. And there's a couple of units, occasionally, if I can find my Slater, that will use crit damage instead of defense. Slater has built-in higher crit chance. You know, he has 30% base, and then he also has moves that double his crit chance, a passive that triples it. So having crit damage as a set is pretty useful for him. But overall, if you're not sure, everyone is safe with HP and a defense set. Right, very simple. HP defense, it'll work just fine. For people like Meliodas, Coinbon, Slater, you know, those guys, you can give them attack. I personally give my Meliodas HP because I have plenty of people who have attack. And my Meliodas doing 200k, you know, 200,000 full counters is funny to watch. Because his full counter scales with HP. Right? But that's just me. He still has a good amount of attack, having like 5k attack stat regardless. It's still high. You know, other people will have him around 6 or 7k. And he'll do more damage. 100% he will. But I like him for the full counter because the way my team works in both PvE and PvP, that's how I use him, right? I use him for his full counter. But that's really it. Taking everything that I just said, you do those things and you'll get a higher CP. And that is how you'll progress through the story. So that's really it. That's the key to getting more CP. That's how everyone's been getting their CP. And I hopefully gave you guys a good amount of details. This was a little bit longer to go over because it is, You know, it's not as easy to explain in a 5-minute video. This does take some time. So, if you guys did enjoy that, if you thought this was informational and you found it useful, consider hitting that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's get the boy up to 23k subs. We almost there. You know, we only a little bit away, 500 subs, and the goal will be road to 30k. We're gonna do it with 7 deadly sins. We're gonna use that to climb all the way up. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you did, I'll see you all in the next one. Make sure to follow me on Twitch for some streams, and I'll see you there. Peace out.